Hi, this is Simon from Team Heroes teaching you how to do the Earth zoom. So first off, you gotta have some satellite photos of the area you want to zoom into. So as you can see, we have 7 pictures, each one progressively getting further and further. We basically took screen caps from Google Maps, and yeah, they work pretty well. First off, we're only using the first 6, so we're gonna drop it into the timeline. And the main process is to turn off all of them except the first 2, or the ones you're working on, and change the first one to 50% opacity, and lock the second one to ensure that you don't accidentally move it. So use the standard transformation tool, and yeah, we're pretty much just scaling it down, trying to match it as close as we can, so that it would work really well. So as you can see there, it's too small, so we're going to scale it back up a bit. You can see that it matches up nicely, and we're now parenting the first layer to the second layer, to the locked layer. So we turn off the first eye, and you turn on the third eye. Lock the third layer, change the second layer's opacity down to 50, and we scale it down to match it up. As you can see there, I forgot to change the opacity, so I'm changing it right now. And as you can see, we're still using that landmark currently, but as the further you go, the smaller the landmark will be. So you gotta keep looking for a landmark to use for a reference point. And yeah. So in this tutorial, it's going to be pretty much the same process over and over again. So as you can see there, um, we're moving on to the next one. So we're putting the opacity down to 50 for layer for 33, and going onto the fourth layer, locking the fourth layer, and scaling it down with the transformation tool. So if you have to, you can rotate the pictures or anything necessary to make them match properly. So as you can see, now we're continuing to line up all the landmarks and parenting it to the locked layer. You don't necessarily have to lock it, but I just lock it to make it easier, and so you don't accidentally select it as After Effects usually does. And we're doing the same thing, changing opacity, locking the next layer, and matching it up and parenting it. Once those are all done, we will be starting the scaling process. Okay, now since you're all done, you don't have to parent the last one. You select all, and change the parent to none. This will temporarily unlock everything, so make sure you don't move anything at this point. You take all the layers except the first one, parent it to the first one. So now in the first one, you can easily scale all of them without screwing anything up. So as you can see here, if you change it to, whoops, 100%, you will be at the ground level of the zoom, and if you put it at the 1% scale, it would bring it back out to the furthest point. For our project, we're not going too far, and we're going to maybe the cloud level and going towards this building.